Okay, well, as promised, there is a new dawn at SAFA House. Sorry, I could not help myself. But there is an acting head of women's football, Don Lubisi, who was appointed late last year by the association. She is within the structures, as I've mentioned, and she joins us here on Radio 2000 tonight just to find out more about her role, her responsibilities, and what she hopes to achieve during this period. Good evening from us, Don, on Radio 2000. Thank you very much for being here, firstly.
Thank you, Tabisa, and good evening to your listeners at home.
Yeah, how has it been the first few months in this role?
Very interesting. Very, very, very much interesting and very eventful.
Why? What's so eventful?
No, I mean, this
Just
year,
football.
like you cannot say it's just football. It's 2025, the year of female football. Like we have a lot of activities that have been lined up. Our calendar is very much packed. We started off the year with our under-17 playing against Gabon, and obviously, unfortunately, they didn't make it to the next round because they got beat by Nigeria.
Yeah.
However, it has been a very, very, very eventful 4 months. Yeah.
Okay, and before we go further into this 4 months, what are your roles and responsibilities in this role?
In the role as the acting head.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a lot, hey? So it's a lot. Basically, it's trying to uplift the profile of women's football. That's basically one of them. Launching the strategy, that was another one of my on my to-do list rather. And there's also a number of other things to do. I work very closely with the competitions department.
Okay.
So obviously we have the Hollywood Bed Super League there. So like I said, work closely with the competitions department. And then we have our Girls Academy as well. So these are all things that basically fall under the umbrella that is women's football, your grassroots, as well as your under 17, under 15, the inter LFA clubs, and inter LFA, what you call league. So,
yeah.
Yes, so that's that as well. So,
and then you have the national teams also that you must worry about also.
We have people for that, but of course they fall under the umbrella as well. But yes.
Okay. At the moment, you are acting head, but I would think since you are here, maybe there's hope that you will be a permanent head of women's football. But would you take that up if it was offered to you? Or are you just happy to do what's required for you at this time?
Honestly, if I'm being honest, it would be a very, very great honor to head up the women's football. It's a great opportunity. I believe it's a very, very great opportunity. There's a lot that needs to be done, and I think that, if I'm already there, why not?
Okay, at least you have an appetite for the job. And just a bit about your background. We know that you were within SAFA structures. It seems like from the press release that they identified and they looked for a suitable person within, and they came up with you. What were you doing at SAFA?
Well, at SAFA, I'm the National Referees Administrator, so I basically deal a lot with match officials, their training and all of that, and it also speaks to the development of match officials, female match officials to be specific. I'm very fortunate to have been given the opportunity by the head, Mr. Abdul Ibrahim, and the referees committee as well to say, Dawn, look, here's a platform. If you want to grow, thrive in it, there we go. Development programs, that's something that is basically that I have been working and dealing with. From evaluating, making sure that we go back, reassess, see if the structure is working, how to improve, how to better it, and all of that. So that's basically what I've been doing for the last few years, and it's something that I'm very, very much passionate about. Development is literally just like at the top of my list for everything when it comes to football, because that's where everything is. If you stop development, then where's football going to be?
So will you still be involved then in what you were doing before? Or you just now going to turn your focus to women's football?
I am still involved in the referees department, the development side of it more than anything. Responsibilities have been shifted on, and of course I'm trying to basically push the strategy and all of that. But with the strategy being launched, I think that more of my time will now be on implementing the strategy, because a lot of time and resources need to be put into that, to making sure that the strategy that has been launched is basically realized.
So is the structure working when it comes to the referees?
What do you mean?
No, overall, you said you need to make sure that the structure, whether it's development of referees, are the young referees coming through, are the young ones interested also in this profession?
Definitely, yes. I think that on the refereeing front, definitely when it comes to development and the structures that are currently there, we are working really well. Everything is tip-toe condition. Yeah.
And do you deal with the referees at senior level also, those that are refereeing in the PSL? Those also fall under you?
Yes, we deal with all of the match officials around South Africa. As long as you're affiliated with an LFA in your region, or your LFA rather, I deal with you at some point.
They've come under a lot of criticism, though, the referees in recent seasons. Many believe that their performances are not up to standard. Do you agree with that?
Show me the facts.
We had an offside on Sunday that was not given, and we listened to the principal, Victor Hlongwane. The referee was the assistant referee was badly positioned.
Deadly position.
Yeah, he wasn't in line with the ball. He wasn't in line with the second last line of defense.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
Yeah.
that definition. I think you should get somebody in from the review.
But from development, though, are you saying there are enough referees coming through the system?
We are working on it. It's not necessarily just about the numbers. I think when you think development and wanting to progress whatever plan that you have, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the quality as well. So I would say that slowly but surely we are definitely getting there. From where we started to where we currently are, there has been steady improvement, and I'm hoping that in the next 3-4 years we have the number that we envision, whereby majority of our match officials are on the FIFA panel. Female match officials are on the FIFA panel. We want to give FIFA and CAF a good headache to say, look, we have a league that is playing. We have match officials who are officiating in that league, and they're quite good. Give us more. Give us, more heads on the FIFA panel. So that, I think that's basically the aim as well.
And is the aim, I know obviously now you're focusing on women's football, but since you're with the referees, is the aim also to professionalize this profession eventually? Because there have been cries about referees not being professional and being semi-professional.
True. I think that's a question for Victor Gomes.
Oh,
Victor Gomes
okay.
and team.
Well, bring Victor Gomes. I'm
think
sure
you should.
he would like for his referees to be professionalized. But let's talk about this big document here that you have, Women's Football Strategy 2025 to 2028. What is it all about, basically?
Well, the strategy is basically us saying this, it's time basically. We are wanting to lay a solid foundation to women's football on all areas, on all aspects, whether it's from your coaching, administration, your players. We want to make sure that we have clear elite pathways, pathways. When you're what you call your Tembies, when they decide to retire, what do they do after that? Not everybody's going to be a coach, not everybody's going to be a commentator, not everybody, even for on your referees front, if I'm done officiating as a match official, what am I going to do? There's other areas to go into. If I'm an administrator, where do I go from my LFA? Do I go to the region, province, and all of that? We want to basically highlight the platforms that are there, basically to say that if you dream big enough, we are making sure that what is at the top is basically something that will sustain you, something to say there's literally nothing stopping a girl child, somebody who hasn't kicked a ball, to say, look, I can be the next Tembi, I can be the next Janine. Like, literally, there's so much to do. We are wanting to make sure that we pave that foundation so that when we start building, it's a matter of we building on a solid foundation. If I like using the analogy of like building a house, because when you have a house, it's not necessarily about if something doesn't work, you don't tear down the house, right? What do? You fix whatever it is that is not working. Sometimes it might be the globe. Sometimes you might be trying to build a double story, and then it's a matter of the having cracks somewhere on the walls. It's just a matter of how do we reinforce that and basically try and build from that. So this is what the strategy is trying to do. Have that solid foundation to basically say for future girls, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, the foundation is solid, and we just basically build from there.
And does the same go for active players? Are the pathways also for active ones? Because not everybody will make it and become a footballer ultimately.
Definitely for sure. This strategy is for the whole football community. It's for those who are already on the elite side of it, and it's for all of those who are trying to come up. So like I said, whether you're an administrator, whether you're a referee or whatever, this strategy covers everybody that is involved in football.
Those who are just joining us, we are speaking to Dawn Lubisi. She is the acting head of women's football at SAFA. She was appointed late last year, still acting in the position, but already she's come up with a strategy 2025 to 2028, and we're just trying to find out more about what she would like to achieve in this role in these How many years is 2025 to 2029? It's 4 years.
4 years.
It's 4 years, right? It might sound like 3 years to someone, yeah, but it's 4 years. So that's why. And at the moment, where would you say women's football is in South Africa?
Right now, I think we are at a stage whereby we can utilize what we have to open opportunities. I think mainly it's on a commercial. Banyana, they're doing really well.
Yeah.
That's our national team. That's that's the team that we will always refer back to because their success means
The pride of the nation.
Precisely, exactly. If they do good, that means women's football in general is doing good because you have to go back and ask yourself, where does Coach Des get the players? You know, and those teams, how are they able to still function and, you know, be identified? So it speaks to the work that is also being done behind the scenes. I would say that there is a lot that still needs to be done, but we are already somewhere. We have a foundation to start with. So to say, the strategy is just to solidify what is already there as well.
I know where Coach Des gets her players. I have seen her at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning going to a youth tournament looking for players, not just senior national team players, but even under 15s, under 17s, and then she's got this big book where she's got progress and she tracks them for years.
Yeah.
And it shows you that there is a recipe or there's method to this madness and a recipe to this success. And talking about the success of Banyana, have you seen the growth? Has it led to visible interest in women's football in the country, especially when it comes to girls playing the sport?
Okay, I think maybe perhaps I can speak to the spectators that come to the stadium. We were playing against Malawi not so long ago. We were playing at UJ and people did come through. We went to Lucas Maripa, people do come through. So I think that there is a general interest in women's football and with our national teams as well. So I think that, yeah, definitely there is interest there.
And in playing also?
Playing also.
Are the numbers growing?
Yes, definitely. The numbers are growing. I think another goal on the strategy is basically to increase the girls participating in football by 5% each year. As 5% is a very, very huge number. We are a nation of 62, 63 million. How many of those are female? And we literally are wanting to reach the ladies and girls who are in your rural areas and all of that. So, yeah.
So how do we do that?
How do we do that? We have
to increase the participation.
Of course, first and foremost, awareness. First and foremost is awareness. And then another thing that we are wanting to do is we are basically wanting to have a football campaign whereby we are targeting areas or rather children who have never kicked a ball before. Believe it or not, as big as South Africa is and as a nation of football that we are, there is that one child somewhere out there who has never kicked a ball before. And we're wanting to say, look, we want to reach you and you never know, we might actually ignite a spark that might end up being something beautiful.
Is that by creating more tournaments now, more competitions, or just to make sure that the LFAs are up and running and are focusing on women's football?
It's a combination of everything, basically. It's a combination of everything. One of our pillars is basically participation in competition. I think this year that's something that we're going to be focusing a lot on. It's one of the pillars of the strategy, and then after that we will go on to capacitating the administrators who are basically administering these leagues and all of that. And yeah, that's how we're going to start.
Okay, and another pillar is education and capacity building. Can you just tell us more about that pillar?
That is, I think that's all of our pillars are very, very, very important, and that's also a very important pillar. What did you say?
Education and capacity building.
And capacity
pillar number
building.
3.
Number 3.
I'm going by the book. I've got it here. No shortcuts.
Education and capacity building. I think that is a very, very important pillar because, like I said, the people that administer the different leagues that we currently have, whether it's from your LFA, your regional, your provincial, national, and all of that, they need to be capacitated. They need to know what it takes to run a league. It mustn't be just when you start a team, when you say I want to own a team, what does it take for you to own a team? When you say I want to play in the Hollywood Bet Super League, what does it take to actually play in the Hollywood Bet Super League? You know, what qualities do you need? What tools do you need? So with this particular pillar, we are wanting to make sure that we not only educate the public, but already capacitate the people that are within the structures, within the environment of football. Your Hollywood Bet Super League teams, those are our targets. The people who are administrators in your SASL and all of the other regional leagues that we have, those are the people that we are targeting.
Does it mean then that you are going to have one document or one football curriculum that must go around the country and everybody basically needs to follow that?
That is part and parcel of the strategy as well. It's one of our goals, one of the goals that we have. So it's something we are definitely looking into.
So this is your Vision 2022. You know there was a document called Vision 2022?
Everybody knows about Vision 2022.
Yeah, but not a lot of people know what happened to some of the objectives of Vision 2022. But so this is basically something similar for women's football, basically.
Basically, yes.
Okay, and Vision 2022 also included nine centers of excellence around the country, and you've got that here also.
It's somewhere in there. Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, so what's the plan for that? Is it basically to have a school of excellence for women's football? What will these centers entail?
Well, what will the centers entail? I think this is basically a matter of us going back to the drawing board as well, and saying, looking at football, what does football require? As much as we might want to say we want to have 9 centers of excellence and all of that, but what does the football environment require? Is it a now thing? Is it how do we plan for it? What does it entail? I can't necessarily answer that because we have to now go back, evaluate, and see if it's something that football actually wants.
Okay, we are speaking to the acting head of women's football, Don Lubisi, here on Radio 2000. We've got a couple of voice notes. 0605842250 is the number. If you want to call us directly, you can call us on 086 002479.
There's the big potential in South African women's football. Because now they have seen players playing in the national team, they've seen players playing the World Cup. Now they have a belief. But now we need a program that can be sustained for the next 8 to 10 years so that we can get a team. Because if you can check varsity football, they're giving a platform for women's football. You just need something that can promote football in South Africa. There's a lot of potential, and we're living under that potential in South Africa. Thanks.
Good evening, Tabiso. We're speaking to Prof. Mamlo Life for Sloras. I would like to congratulate Udon Lubisi. I hope and I pray to God that this acting becomes permanent so that in future what happened, the mistake that SAFA did with our girls when they were preparing for the World Cup in New Zealand, where they were taken to Tsakani for training. Just imagine. I hope such mistakes won't happen. I pray to God that he got permanent and he should do right things for our ladies football. Thank you. Thank you.
Evening, Tabiso, and evening to your guest in studio. Tabiso, look, SAFA, it's time for SAFA to take us serious now. They can't be saying she's an acting. She needs to lead women's football. Women's football is growing, Tabiso. Our ladies are playing a very good football. I'm for the fan of those ladies. Whenever they play, I make sure that I go to the stadium and I support them. But seeing that they don't have support from the National Football Association, it's so bad. So I think it's time they take us serious because there's a lot of fans that want to see that team succeeding. Banyana as a whole and all the ladies football. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for those voice notes. I do agree with many of them, and I like the last one because not only is women's football growing, but the standard of the football is improving, folks. The quality of the football that we are seeing these days, whether it is at Hollywood Bet Super League level, whether it is at a junior level, but you can just see there is a lot of improvement. I know there's a focus now just to work on goalkeepers. Coach Desiree has been very passionate about that. She's even been holding camps for goalkeepers, so that's still the one big concern. But credit to the work that the coaches are doing wherever they are with these teams, because there's been a lot of improvement. Tulani spoke about sustainability, Don, and I think that's the most important thing, because we might joke about Vision 2022 and that one of its pillars was Ubuntu, but some of the promises that were made there were not carried through, including the centers of excellence. We were told there would be 9 around the country. The only one that we are being told about is the one in KZN. How do we make sure then that this is sustainable?
Yeah, sustainability is literally at the top of my list. And with that said, I would go on to say to you, have me as a regular here so that I can basically give you feedback on what it is that we're doing, so that there's a bit of accountability that is there. And if it's a matter of why are we not doing what we are setting out to do, at least the public knows and everybody knows to say, hey, these are the challenges that we have, that we are dealing with, and this is how we think we should tackle them. But sustainability, I don't want us to say the strategy is just out there to tick boxes and all of that. It's definitely not about ticking the boxes. It's about making sure, like I said when I started with you earlier on, to say we are wanting to build a foundation, a very strong, solid foundation. And with this strategy, that is something that we are hoping to achieve. Yeah.
And why is it so hard to build this strategy or to build this brand, considering the success of the national team? WAFCON champions, last 16 of the Women's World Cup, have a number of players playing overseas. But over the years, it's just been Sasol that's been standing by this team. There might have been other partners along the way, but Sasol has. Oh, you can't say they've stood the test of time, right? That's another company. But Sasol has always been there. Why then is it so hard then to build this brand and to commercialize women's football?
Sasol has been a solid partner, and we are very thankful to them. We wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for Sasol. They have played a huge role in shaping the landscape of women's football. And it's basically,
and there's Hollywood Bets now, obviously,
and Hollywood Bets as well, like definitely, for sure. It's basically a matter of saying to possible sponsors out there, why are you not getting on this big opportunity? Why are you not jumping in? I think that our girls have proven themselves to say that we are more than just what you call saying we are giving you guys handouts. We are delivering. They are playing really good football. The quality is there. Why is it that sponsors are not coming on and saying, look, I want to be on that shirt of that Hollywood Bets team. I want to be on the shirt of that what you call Sasol team at the provincial level. Why are they not coming through? We are welcoming you. We are saying come through. Sustainability is there. If you're wanting more strengths and all of that, the SWOT analysis, it is definitely there. And we are inviting you to come through. Come join us on this train. That is basically there. We are ready to succeed.
And what are you offering them?
We are offering them everything that is football. Come on, there's too many things to mention. We have big names. I think I just keep on going to Tembi a gazillion times, but we have very, very big names that are there. We have a Women's Super League that is currently running, and we are looking to professionalize that league as well. The teams that are playing within that particular league, which is the HSL Hollywood Super League, they have stood the test of time. We are now on our 6th season, if I'm not lying, and we have from its inception to where it is now, we started off with 12 teams. Now we are sitting with 16. There has been promotion, relegation. If that doesn't say to you that there is progress, there is a bit of sustainability that is there, I think you just, I don't know what else we have to do to prove it. If you want to see the league become bigger, go to your HSL teams, sponsor them. They are looking for financial assistance. They are wanting to get big. They are wanting to be the giants.
On that note, how much of it is, how much responsibilities do the clubs have here, and also marketing themselves? We've seen JVW, when the league started, they were streaming their matches. They were very innovative on social media. They're very active also. There's always just excitement when their games come around. And I know we always ask, what is SAFA doing? What are the sponsors doing? But the clubs, do you think the clubs are doing enough, or should they be doing more? Or are they, is that what you're talking about, that you want to equip them also to be able to market themselves?
Exactly. It goes back to capacity building. I think we had a meeting in January just before the league kicked off, the pre-season meeting. And basically in that meeting, it was highlighted to say that there's, what you call, saying we are giving you guys handouts. We are giving you guys handouts. We are saying come through. We are welcoming you. We are saying come through. there isn't our clubs are not competing on the same level, so to say. Some are very much knowledgeable, they know what they need to do, and some of them it's just a matter of they're still new, they're still learning the ropes. So we want to make sure that we capacitate each and every one of them so that they are all on the same level. When we speak of branding, when we speak of marketing yourselves, everybody basically knows what that entails. They know the particular steps to follow to say, if we don't do it and if we end up staying behind or being behind, it's our own doing. But if we are wanting to be in this league and we're wanting to compete like the likes of your Mamelodi Sundowns, your JVW, your huge universities, how do we then make sure that we are there? This is us. This is where we're going to be coming in and saying, look, guys, we are giving you guys the tools. Make sure that you use them.
Yes, and they need to also use the media to their advantage. There's a good thing that the PSL does. The PSL is a WhatsApp group. All the members of the media are there, and the communication goes in that group. And then if the clubs also want to send communication about their events or interviews of their players, they send them to that group, and everybody has access. And I think that's one of the things that's missing also with the Hollywood Bets. I think obviously they might not have media officers or enough members of staff, but I think that's where they can start also with the communication.
Definitely, I agree with you.
Or do we have something like that I don't know of? Because I don't. I've always seen the communication come through the SAFA group, but not specifically a Hollywood Bet Super League group.
It's something we are definitely looking into with this. What we want to do is basically make sure that everything is out there, everything that is women's football, whether it's having your profiles on your players, it's basically advertising, selling tickets. We want to get to a point whereby teams are able to say, hey, if you want to come watch Mamelodi Sundowns, if you want to come watch JVW, a ticket is $20 or $50 or whatever, but they are able to do so as well. So yeah, we are headed there.
Okay, we are speaking to the acting head of women's football at SAFA, Ms. Dawn Lubisi, is here with us on Radio 2000 tonight. Okay, before we go to the voice notes, we've just received a message that the group is still there, the Hollywood Bets. I was just telling Dawn off air that there used to be a group and I used to be part of it. So if the group is still there, Dawn, and I'm no longer part of it, what does it mean? Those people who understand WhatsApp. Have I been kicked out? Have I been kicked out of the Hollywood Bet Super League media group?
Does it say you've been removed?
No, I'm no longer there. That's for sure. Like I was saying to you, there was a group, but I'm no longer there. No, it's fine. We'll address that. Dawn and I will address that. And we've come with a recommendation while we were taking a break that every club needs to have a media officer. There should be no excuse.
There should be no
that
excuse.
recommendation was made on Radio 2000 only because there are a lot of volunteers also of people of young girls and boys that want to get into this space, and they would volunteer to do something like this, even though ideally, of course, if there's enough money, you don't want people to work without being paid. But I think you would find a lot of people interested in just helping and being media officers of some of these clubs. Okay, we've got a number of voice notes here, a number of questions and comments.
Only be going forward if there's pioneers that are within the football fraternity of development, because grassroots level of women's football already on its own, I wouldn't say it's non-existent, but it is there, but it's not fully forced. So if the development of the team, not the team, but if the development of women's football at grassroots level is also strong, it will create a foundation that the women's football is strong also in South Africa. So it's just the promotion of soccer pioneers and coaches and stakeholders to also invest in grassroots level of women's development, grassroots level. Yeah, but Taviso, how are you and your guest there, Coach? Please, Taviso. You know, our sports is always directed into big institutions, universities, colleges. On the ground, we are still lagging. SAFA need to do more in terms of opening local leagues and so on. So we need to do more in terms of the local league. Each and every local league team must have a women's local team also. Lucas in Centurion.
Greetings, Tarisa. It's Victor here in Amastral. I think the women football is growing bit by bit, even though here at local level in the LFA we are having a lot of challenges, So the picture which you see at national level is not what is transpiring at the ground level. So now I think SAFA, they need to invest their time coming down to the grassroots level, whereby they can see the challenges which women football are facing, because it's not useful to see the passion in the national level and the talent in the national level, while at the rural level or the local level, women football is suffering. So they need to do that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good evening, Tabiso. In the guest in the studio, I'm very, very highly impressed with all the plans, the knowledge, the vision behind all the plans. If only those can be executed, I mean, women's football is in good hands. We just wish you the best, of everything in doing all that, in order to take women's football to another level. This is Tibo Touch from David. So thank you.
Okay, shout out Tibo Touch. Sorry we don't have horns for you, but thanks for thanks for the comment. Is there anything specific you want to respond to there? There's a lot of comments about how the focus needs to be on the lower leagues, that not enough is happening at grassroots level.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I'm very thankful to your listeners, and it's very, very nice to hear that you guys are following women's football and there's a serious interest in it. Potential sponsors out there, please, I hope you're picking up on this as well. Yeah, I think another thing on the strategy that we cover is basically saying that we want the communities to feel like the teams that they belong to them, So hearing people say that they are behind supporting, I think it just reinforces to say the strategy covers what football needs, not what we want, but what football requires, is demanding. So yeah, I'm very happy to hear that. And when we speak of the grassroots levels, yes, there's a lot that still needs to be done there, but we are also still working. I think we have in 5 provinces, we through the TDS program, we were able to launch the inter-LFA leagues. So if you basically go onto safa.net, read up on it, you will see that there is a bit of activity that is happening at grassroots level, and that is where our main focus is still going to be. We are literally going to go there. Again, go on safa.net. This is where you will also get the opportunity to go over the strategy. You will get to understand and see how you can play your part, how you can make women's football great. This is what we want. The community to support our ladies. We want everybody to be involved. If you're a stakeholder in football, we want you involved.
And do you want these clubs to have female teams? I'm sure you would want that, especially like someone said, the pioneers, and a lot of those comments on social media that we need the big clubs in South Africa to also lead by example here.
Of course. Following in CAF, I'm sure you know that with CAF, if you're going to be playing in any of the competitions as a male team, you're supposed to either have a female team or adopt a team. So this is something that we are also wanting as well. We are wanting there to be more than just 16 teams on the Hollywood beds. We're wanting to look at the format of it. How do we make it more competitive and all of that? So yeah, definitely we do want more teams.
And when we talk big clubs, we're talking Chiefs and Orlando Pirates.
Pirates, I know that.
Would you know why they still haven't come up with these teams?
I can't necessarily speak for them. But I know that there is a lot of considerations when you want to start a club, not just your financial considerations. There's also an element of how do we better the community, how do we give back to the community, how do we invest, and how will we get a return of our investment if we actually do start a club. We have something that we call club licensing. There's regulations that basically guide how you should go about actually function, how your club should go about its operations and all of that. So there's a lot. It's not as simple as waking up tomorrow and saying I'm starting a team. The sustainability of it is very, very important. You need to plan for the sustainability of that particular team.
Well, the last time we spoke to Jessica Mutawung of Kaizer, we spoke to Janine van Wyk, actually, she had confirmed that there was talks between them and Kaizer Chiefs at some stage to try and merge or to do something together. So there is some intent, but it hasn't happened yet, so we still wait. We'll wrap up with Don after the break.
Hollywood Bets invites you to a drop of endless rewards and riches with.
Good evening, Tabiso and the Game On
7-4.
listeners. Greetings
7-7.
to Your Highness in the studio. Great strategy, great plan. How do you go about in ensuring that plan is executed 100%? And also, the other thing I wanted to ask is, with regards to the funds, how do you go about ensuring that those funds reach the relevant teams or departments without being misused or go missing? Thanks, Malasara from Zakani.
Hello, Tabiso and your guest. This is Gerard from Pretoria. Emma, I'm so impressed with that lady. She really knows her story. SAFA shouldn't disappoint us. People like those have to be taken seriously. She knows her story. She's a prophet of the game. Thank you.
Evening, member and Katlehove and your guest. For me, quick one. Why or when are we professionalizing women's football? Because that, for me, is the utmost importance. Because the Hollywood Super Bet League is not still professionalized, you know. And I follow a lot of women's football. I go, there's friend entrance here and there in TUT and all of that. There's teams in Pretoria, I follow all of them. So my question is, when are we planning to professionalize the game? Or do we need the go-ahead of the PSL?
Okay, thanks, Matimu. You've touched on that, Don, but what will it take? Because I would think ultimately that's the end goal here.
Yeah, that is definitely the end goal. We do want to professionalize women's football. We want to professionalize everything that has to do with women's football. And like I said, it's a matter of being able to reach certain benchmarks. There are boxes to take in order to say we are now professional. Your club licensing, like I have mentioned that before as well. There are certain areas, certain boxes that teams need to basically tick. And so far, we are headed towards that. And yes, but like I said, we still need to capacitate our teams. Our teams still need to do a bit of work before we are able to professionalize the league. But that is also at the top of our agenda. And yeah, I think when it comes to how do we make sure that the strategy is basically implemented to its full capacity, two keywords: monitoring and evaluation. That's going to be the one thing that is going to be very, very key in everything that we do. It's not, like I said, it's not a matter of ticking the boxes and moving on. It's about going back and seeing if what we have put in place actually works. Does it work? Is there a need for it? And do we need to basically adapt it, change it somehow in order for it to fit the football environment and its needs at that particular time?
But there's a big concern at the moment, and we can't avoid it, which is basically the disorganized start of the Hollywood Bets Super League. That is not going to help matters because not all teams are playing at the same time. We saw the statement from SAFA that they were still trying to find each other with the sponsor, and that's why only the TV games were being played. Surely this will also impact things then. How? What can you share with us about this? What's happening, or what could be the impact of this?
We are trying by all means to recover. I think with the competitions department, as well as basically trying to find a strategy to make sure that we get back on point. We are not wanting what has happened to basically disrupt the league as a whole. We have been in communication with our teams. Our teams are aware of what is happening, and I think that has been the one thing that we basically can do: communicate with the teams and keep them informed and all of that. But at the same time, we are looking towards redressing it and making sure that the strategies that we put in place are basically beneficial for the league.
Okay, we want to give the last word to someone who has served women's football with distinction for years, and she's been listening to this conversation. I don't know if she has any advice for Dawn or if she's impressed by what she's heard tonight. Friend Hilton Smith joins us on Radio 2000. Good evening, friend. I hope you are well, firstly. Hello, friend. Can you hear us? Are you well, friend? Yeah, what do you make of Dawn in this position, and what advice do you have for her?
Thank you so much, Fran. It's very, very much appreciated. Fran is literally one of those people that you look up to.
Yeah,
like, when
she's done it all, huh?
She definitely has done it all. And Fran, thank you for paving the way. Very much appreciated. You've done a lot for women's football, for us to actually be where we currently are right now. Much appreciation.
Okay, and we appreciate. Thank you, friend. We're gonna invite you again. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to you and the role that you have played in women's football. And we appreciate you listening to this conversation and joining us here. Don, also thank you for coming. We wish you all the best. If this was an audition, judging by the listeners here, it looks like you've done well.
Thank you so very much to you, Tabiso, and your listeners. And please do continue supporting women's football. We do need you guys, all of you. We need you at those stands. We need you coming to look at our teams, supporting our teams. We very, very much appreciate the football community. Thank you, Tabiso.
Okay, thank you. But you said we must call you again, so
Of
be
course.
careful what you
I must
wish
be a
for.
regular.
We're gonna call you after.
Yes.
There's this thing in South Africa called 100 days.
Of course.
Maybe when you get the job permanently, after 100 days, you must
Call me
come and account,
I will
so we
definitely
can
make
see the
myself
progress.
available.
But thank you for speaking to us. I think you've provided a lot of clarity. You're going to leave us with this document. Also, we'll go through it again and we'll share with the listeners as we go along. I do believe that there will be an announcement made by Hollywood Bets and SAFA regarding the Hollywood Bets Super League. So we're not going to steal their shine. That's not what we do here. We'll give them the space and time to announce that, but it looks like they have found each other. Thankfully, Hollywood Bets and SAFA, and there will be an announcement that is being made, which is good then for women's football. That's where we're going to leave it. We're going to hand over to Life, Love, and Football. No, Life, Love, and All with Mapaseka Mukwele after the news.